Hi, Tom. How are you? Hi, how are you? I think you're on mute at the moment.
There we go. Hello,
Hi,
Kathy. How are you?
I'm great.
Great
I'm
to see you
great.
again.
So good. So good to see you here. Are you keeping well?
Yes, as well as can be. Working on a few
Great.
things. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, look, thank you so much for joining me today. It's so good to see you. We're so used to working with each other over the phones. It's so nice to see you in person in real life, which is pretty amazing.
That's right. I know. Yeah, Zoom is better than a phone call. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I really love to, and just first of all, say thank you so much for spending just a little bit of time with us here today. You
Right.
just recently completed the Breakthrough program over the 3 months, and I would really just love to know and hear from you, where you were at before starting the program with the tools and the resources, obviously, that you got your hot little hands onto. Tell me where you were at before starting.
Okay. Uh, Before starting, I was definitely struggling in the way I was thinking about things, and I realized that I needed help. I was struggling with motivation. I was finding it hard to get more motivation to do the things that I wanted to do, and I just felt stuck, um, and really struggling to accept where my headspace was at. My mind was just it felt like it was in a negative rut, and so I reached out.
Yeah, and thank you for being so open and honest. I can tell you, looking back over the chapters of my own life, I've been in many negative ruts in my own life and just felt very stuck. And to be honest, couldn't really understand why I just wasn't moving forward in life, and just why I wasn't motivated either to actually even take action. I had lots of goals and dreams, and I had an idea of what it was that I wanted to create, but actually not feeling inspired or motivated either. So I totally appreciate where you're coming from. And a lot of people do feel like that as well. And we can discover and cover why we're not feeling motivated so we can feel excited about moving forward. But were there any particular areas of your life, Tom, where you felt like you were dissatisfied that made this attractive to you?
Yeah, definitely. I'd um, I'd made a big change in my career, and was very unsatisfied with the results I was seeing versus the capability that I believed and knew I had. And I was looking at the outcomes in my life in quite a few areas, not only work, but my social life, my relationship status. And yeah, I was just really I was very unhappy with the lack of progress or outcomes, you might say. And I had this desire for more. I was, I really believed I was as capable or able to have these good things in my life. And I really didn't know why I wasn't. So I was dissatisfied in all of the spectrums that we often go through. I would probably rate them all very low. And that was discouraging.
Yeah, it's really amazing, isn't it, Tom? I know that when we take that opportunity to really, look ourselves in the mirror, and we often talk about the wheel of life, and we look at all of the different areas of our life that we value, like relationships and finances and business and our spiritual life and our health and our well-being. There's so many different parts of our life that all of us really value, and when we get to take that honest look and say, okay, out of 10, where am I scoring right now? It's in that moment of honesty that we really get to have an understanding of, okay, where am I at really? What is point A for me right now? what do I want point B to look like? What does that vision look like? And okay, now how do we get from point A to point B? So it's a really great way just to check in, isn't it, every now and then and say, okay, well, how am I doing really? And being honest with ourselves. But Tom, what did you realize that you needed to do in order for your life to improve?
Yeah, look, firstly, I had to make some different decisions and take different actions. It was, I'd been going in a fairly steady, ongoing direction for about 10 years. And I realized that unless I did something different, this wouldn't change. So in my case, I left a role in a family business. But beyond that, I just needed some external input and perspective and help. That was a big step for me, just realizing I've got to call up someone and ask for some advice. You know, I can read books quickly. I've read a lot, but I needed more than that. And so, yeah, that led me to speak to you and see what we could do. But it was also, in hindsight, my thinking. You know, my thinking had to change, and you know, it's hard when you're stuck in your own thoughts and ways of seeing life and the world and issues to actually change them. And so that's a really strange place to be. But so that's what I needed help with, is how to understand my own thoughts and what was wrong with them. And you know, how would I find motivation to do these things that I wanted to do? I just didn't know. So
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Because we don't realize how powerful our mind actually is, and we don't realize how powerful that when we, you know, our thinking creates the beliefs, and the beliefs create the identity, and then identity creates the action, and then that creates the results. So if that starts with negative thinking, we're going to get a negative outcome. But if we have positive thinking, and that's in alignment with our values, and also the mindset really needs to match our values and our desires and our goals, because otherwise, if they're not in alignment, we're going to do all this hard work and potentially take action, but not actually achieve the results and the desires that we're actually looking for. And Tom, tell me a little bit about, you know, your background. You mentioned that you've stepped out of a family business, so that was something that you'd spent quite a lot of time in, and now venturing into your own entrepreneurial journey. So tell me a little bit about that and what it is that you're excited about.
Yeah, so look, I am very excited about what I'm working on at the moment. I've gone from, you know, an environment that was very safe and easy and a lot of support around me, to really stepping out into doing things of entrepreneurial nature of my own. And so far, it's been very exciting. It's been it's had highs and lows. You know, it's taken investment of money and time. I've made mistakes. I've gone from, you know, one or two or more failures, and I've had to learn how to keep going. And that in itself is a new lesson that I think is part of the entrepreneurial experience. Whether that's for everyone or not, it doesn't matter, I don't think. And that was part of what we went through, of you know, how to go from one failure to another and keep going forward. So I'm excited, and I've learned that it's actually okay to fail and go on to the next thing, and write off a failure. You know, in the past, I'd get really bogged down in something that didn't work, and so now I'm seeing that that's really quite unproductive. But that's a new experience based on what I'm trying to work on now. So yeah, it's exciting and it's daunting, the path I'm taking now. It's very different, and it is taking new ways of thinking, which haven't come naturally to me. So I'm learning a lot on the go. But that's the path I'm choosing, and I'm choosing to believe that I can do it.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you, Tom, because, that's the biggest thing. There's one thing, we see all of these people that have gone before us, and we can see that they're successful, or potentially they've got a result or an outcome or a lifestyle or even a business, which is what we desire. And often the question is, gosh, how did they do it? How did they stay the long haul? Because it is certainly the entrepreneurial journey. When you look at it as a game, it's how do I stay in the game? How do I really master the disappointments and discipline those disappointments when they come up? And if we don't have a strong enough reason or a compelling reason why, and a vision and a goal that really we resonate with, something that's fun to work towards, something that is really important to us, when those roadblocks do hit us for us to grow and become the best version of ourselves, we can fall off the horse so very easily, can't we? And I admit that was certainly me in the past as well. So I totally get where you're coming from, is just to see you break through that and have that strong vision, really implementing those 4 key pillars of success, having that vision, squashing the limiting beliefs that self-sabotage our success, taking that inspired action, and then surrendering and allowing, grace to really be in alignment with us to actually create the results that we need and that we desire as well for our highest good. I'd love to know, Tom, what is it that you particularly loved about the program and what you learned with the tools and resources?
Yeah. So, I mean, firstly, I was very conscious to do everything and read everything. But for me, it was realizing that the thought patterns or the stories that were going on in my head were they were like an addiction. It's like I was supporting them, and I didn't know. I thought that these negative perspectives or blockages, I thought they were actually real and me. I thought that they were true. And then I started to realize that they're actually things that I'm choosing to support. And for me, that kind of enabled me to actually recognize, hey, I'm allowing myself to be in this rut of thinking, and I can now sort of step out of it, because I realize that I have that choice or ability. And so I guess it's been a bit of deprogramming, and I just realize how much of my life I've allowed to live with a negative outlook and accept it all. So that's been very illuminating and challenging at the same time, because now I realize I actually have the initiative to think any way I like or want to, but it's so easy to get pulled back into the old ways. So that's been a big highlight and a big breakthrough. And yeah, I still work on it daily.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I really want to commend you. One of the things that I really loved about working with you, Tom, was that you're so teachable and you were just so open to learning what creates success. And the reason that we love to teach this in our program is because in nature's laws, and men and women, we just cannot defy law. They're always going to be working either for us or they're going to be working against us. So when we get to really take control of our thinking, that's when we really get to take control of our life as well. And it's so exciting because when we realize that there's nothing actually wrong with us, right? That we're a normal human being, that of the 60,000 thoughts that we've got going through our mind every single day, 80% of them are negative. They're usually the ones that are working against us for what it is that we're wanting to achieve in our lives and the success that we desire. So when we know that once we control those thoughts, then gosh, we can create anything in life, which is really exciting once we understand that. Tom, what would you say to someone who's looking to break through to success in the areas of their life that are important to them, whether that's in their personal life, their professional life, or just, you know, those areas that they value, and maybe considering moving forward in their own life? What would you say to them?
Yeah, okay. Firstly, I'd say, you know, most, if not all of it, is all in the mind. And if you haven't had the benefit of, you know, a very positive way of thinking, whether it was your upbringing or career, um, you know, you can still find that and achieve it. And having some help is probably going to be the best way to do it. Um, so I think getting some outside support, being open-minded that, you know, the way that you might be thinking does need adjustment. And that can be the hardest thing, because we think that we do see everything objectively, but the chances are there are blind spots. And I think everybody has blind spots. And so I think someone who's seen those blind spots before and can give you something that feeds into that, which is what I believe I had, can be just exactly what will help you get out of that. And even over a 3-month period, it's a really short space of time. And, you know, I feel like I took on as much as I could in 3 months, but that there's still more. So
Yeah.
that's what I'd say.
Yeah, and the great thing is now that you've got a whole bunch of different tools and resources in your toolkit, and you've got access to them for life, so that whenever you do come up against a roadblock, or whenever you're not feeling motivated, or when you're not feeling aligned, and you know you're not feeling so good, you've got those tools and resources that you can access, those practices now that you can implement, that are going to just help you to keep leveling up in each chapter of your life, which I'm really excited about to see you. So, Tom, I just wanted to say thank you so much for spending some time with us together today. I'm so excited to see you really, you know, really honing in and taking control of your mindset as well, and seeing you creating and designing a life and a business that you love for the highest good of all. I'm just so excited to see that. So thank you so much for sharing with us today, and I look forward to catching up with you again.
That's fine, Kathy. Great to connect again. And yeah, it's been great working with you. Thanks.
Thanks, Tom. Bye for now.
Okay, see ya. Bye. I think that's